Welcome to Senior's Last Word. Liverpool is the club we are talking about today because we are talking Premiership season. It's dawning on us and we are all excited. I've already talked about Arsenal and a lot of you are already into the discussion, and now it's Liverpool, my lifeblood. You all know how passionate I get when I talk about this football club because we need to find out how good were Liverpool last season and how good are they to go and challenge both Man City and Arsenal. And I dare say it's now new times, it's a new dawn because Arne Slot now, the Dutchman replacing Mr. Klopp, the German, and we need to get right into it because, guys, should we be happy? Should we celebrate? How were we last season? Finishing 9 points behind Man City last season, guys, that was ominous. 7 points behind Arsenal, we never had a chance. We fell away towards the end of that season. But just why is what we are going to talk about today, because are we good enough to go next season and challenge? I'm thinking it depends on so many things. But first, just how were we prepared last season? Were we good enough? Because last season, Liverpool had some interesting purchases, really. Remember, the entire midfield have been done now with. We needed a new midfield. And who came in there? Wataru Endo, one of them. Alex McAllister came in there. Gravenberch also joined in there. Soboslai also joined in there. So we brought in 4 midfielders and it was all fresh new at the same time. Did we have a chance in the first season to use that quartet to fit in a team or a midfield that had won everything left? And we thought at once we could do it. For a moment we thought we were coming close there. But what was the problem? Who of those signings was a success? Because we need to understand, was that wasted money or did we get something out of it? Soboslai, for example, when he came in, all rev reviews, he had so much promise. He was really a star where he came from, really in Germany, in Leipzig. But when he came, his first month probably good, later on he faded away, and at the end of the season he didn't have the numbers we thought he could have. He scored only 3 goals but had 2 assists, and in the end never played every game because he was inconsistent there. Sometimes we believed that maybe he was just hype. So how good was he? That's how good was he as an influence. 5 goals contribution, an attacking midfielder who wasn't always living up to his promise. Wataru Endo was the one that surprised everybody. 31 years old, the captain of Japan. Nobody knew him, but in the season I personally think he was one of the better Liverpool players in midfield. In fact, for me, when we stopped playing him every game, at the time when he wasn't really starting, that's when we had problems. That's when we disintegrated in midfield, and that's when Liverpool began losing points in the last 8 weeks of the season. For me, Wataru scored 1 goal in the league, 3 in the season. He only had 2 assists all season, but he, for me, for a defensive midfielder, one who came to break play to replace Fabinho, I thought was good. I thought his tenacity and his hunger and his ability and willingness to sacrifice for the team, getting cards almost every game, but he has that team element in him, wanting to play every game. And then, of course, Alex McAllister, the best of them all, because this man scored 5 goals, contributed 5 as well, initially playing as a holding midfielder, later on joining in attack as a attacking midfielder, as a number 10 at times. But his influence in this football club last season was the best by all players. He could assist, he could break play, he could start play from deep, coming, passing, and again scoring some wonderful, memorable goals. Alex McAllister, for me, probably was the signing of the lot. Gravenberch, a disappointment. Yes, we thought from Bayern Munich, with the experience that he had, even though he hadn't been a regular player, we thought that he could come and hit the ground running. He never hit the ground running. So the 4 players that were brought in as midfielders last season for Liverpool, who did make the impact there? McAllister did for me. Wataru Endo did for me. Soboslai was a disappointment as far as I'm concerned. And of course, Gravenberch never really living up to the bidding. So in the end, not so much of an impact. They faded. They didn't have that much of an influence to match the Liverpool of old. And in the end, we just never did it. So how do we go about next season? What is the signing we're looking for? Who should we sign? Because that's the point. And as we continue in this analysis of Liverpool Football Club, I am saying you just can't move away. You just can't let a pin drop, because this is my team. This is my lifeblood. And I need to tell you my genuine thinking, my real feelings about our chances. I'm thinking we need to do 1 or 2 things next season if we are going to challenge. As it stands, as it is now, too soon, too early to think we can challenge Man City or Arsenal. But who knows? Just stick in there. Don't move away, because on Senior's Last Word, this is where you get the entire expert analysis. Liverpool Football Club. Last season, if we continue with the analysis, let's, for instance, go with our attack. For 5 seasons now, it's Liverpool that has been challenging Man City moving forward in the offensive part of the game. Because of Salah, because of course, Sadio Mane, Roberto Firmino, in the seasons gone by. Recently, of course, those ones left. We brought in the likes of Nunez, Diogo Jota, Diaz and Gakpo. So how good was Liverpool's striking line last season? Who performed? Who didn't perform? Who should we keep? Who should we do away with? Because Salah, once again, scoring 18 goals, Liverpool's top scorer there, plus his 10 assists, goals contribution 28. No doubt, still Liverpool's best player and most impactful player, most influential. But surprise, surprise, because everybody thought Nunez is a flop. Everybody thought he is failing to get into the shoes of previous greats and is not that good. But I will shock you and maybe even annoy you, because Nunez, Darwin, was Liverpool's second most important player for the club last season. Yes, he scored 11 goals, but he had 9 assists. So for both goals and assists, he contributed the second most for the club. In the end, contributing 20 contributions towards the goals and assists whole of Liverpool season in the league. But remember, he also scored 5 goals in Europa League, meaning that in total of the season, he scored 16 goals. Because this guy did anything that we could have wanted. Yes, looked at collectively and the potential he had, he could have done more. He is a player that misses chance after chance after chance, and that's his drawback. That's the negative part of his game. He is too rash. He uses a rush of blood. His adrenaline is always hard. He doesn't his temperament is probably questionable, but guys, he is still finding his feet. Perhaps too long. He's taking too long because he's already been here 2 seasons. But this is a player who, for me, the potential is there, the influence and impact is there. Last season, one of Liverpool's 2 best players. Let's look at Diogo Jota, Diaz and Gakpo, who have been competing for starting places, really. Who deserved to be in there, who didn't? Because Diogo Jota, injury prone, season in, season out. He always plays just half of the season. He never plays a quarter of the season because he's injury prone. And that's his weakness. That's the part of his game which I don't like. But when he does, he did end up with 10 goals in the league, our 3rd most scorer. And the contributions, he doesn't assist that much. He only managed to assist 3 times. So as a total, he contributed 13 goals towards Liverpool's whole. Diaz, Luiz, one of my best players, Luiz, scoring 8 goals there, the same number as Gakpo. Nothing to choose there. And then Diaz assisting 5 times, the same number as Gakpo. Again, nothing to assist there. Both players usually wanting to play on the left. Their contribution equal, 13 goals each for the season. I am saying last season, Liverpool's most important players, most impactful players, most influential were in order: Salah, Nunez, Diogo Jota, Luis Diaz and Gakpo. Yet, you and me know that they don't always start, not always playing in part of the team setup, starting lineup. The coach having to choose who to start with, and that was the challenge he had. So the question is, what do they have to do going next season? Does Liverpool need a new striker? Does Liverpool need to strengthen in the striking line? I am going to make a very interesting statement. I'm saying as long as Salah is still there, Liverpool doesn't have to buy a striker. Why? If you look at the 5 forwards of Liverpool, Salah, Nunez, Diogo Jota, Diaz and Gakpo, compare Liverpool's 5 forwards and Arsenal's 5 forwards and Man City's 5 forwards. Neither City nor Arsenal, if you take their 5 forwards, none of them has the total goals contribution that the 5 men from Liverpool did manage, because all 5 of Liverpool were above 10 in terms of, were in double figures in terms of goals contribution. Now that means these guys have potential, these guys are clinical, or they can be clinical, they can score goals. It just depends on the system they play. So 3 Liverpool players there having 13 goals contribution towards the cause of the season. That is Jota, Diaz and Gakpo. Good enough, but the potential never being fulfilled. Remember, last season, Liverpool's problem was what? Wasting goals opportunities, wasting chances. They created chance after chance after chance, and all Liverpool strikers as guilty. Yes, you could argue probably Nunez was the guiltiest of them all, but guys, remember Salah last season. He was hopeless, really. 18 goals still by his standards, not good enough, because we know he can do better. He missed so many goals on so many several occasions. Gakpo himself, Diaz, another wasteful player. So the problem with Liverpool is calmness, lacking composure in front of goal. Not the quality, but the composure, and maybe trying too much to get used in this system that Jurgen Klopp had. So now he has a new coach, and the question is, will our man Arne Slot use the talent and quality he's found, harness it, and go straight to challenge City and Arsenal? Wait a minute, what happened to Alexander Trent-Arnold and Andy Robertson? Because season in, season out, every season you expect at least 10 assists from either of them. Last season, we never saw that. Alexander-Arnold only assisting 4 times, Robertson only assisting 2 times, and that affected Liverpool's play. It affected our effectiveness because our play was always designed to take advantage of the crosses and the assists from those 2 players. When we brought in this new midfield and we brought in this new attacking force, the formation changed. We wanted to go another route. So the problem with Liverpool was it was confused. So what do we do with the new man who has come in? He has a new formation, 4-2-3-1. He believes in elegant play, open play. He is an attacker. He goes at you. He's changing some things. He has the quality. He has the boldness. He plays a dope football. Is he going to translate that into something positive? I dare say it all depends on his approach. And if he does well, if he goes for what I think he can do, yes, Liverpool will be a competitor. Will they win the Premiership next season? I don't think so. And that's my last word.